Hello, everyone. Welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, Blue Dot, Red State, utilizing Tarot to help us navigate these interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So, really glad that you're here and welcome. And once again, real quick shout out to like and subscribe. Helps me grow my channel, and I really do appreciate it. So, the focus of today's reading is going to be there was reporting that the Democrats are planning on going to visit more detention sites. They were supposed to be doing that over recess, but I haven't really seen anything else being reported about that. I know that there's it seems like there's a little bit of a split in the Democratic Party on the importance of due process, Kevin Newsom, and whether or not the Democrats should be, spending time with this. I know Elise Slotkin is kind of wondering, do people even know what oligarchy means? Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that old guard Democrat is I will do readings on that another day, but they need to read the room and they need to look at the people that are flocking to AOC and Bernie Sanders. I think that we're well aware of what's important in this country and that those two do not have that right message. So, and I mentioned that just because there's been a little bit, of pushback, even within the Democratic Party of bringing this to the attention, bringing this to the forefront. Is this really the hill that they want to die on? And so some of them are saying, yes, this is something that is very important. Due process is kind of the foundation of, our country, of the legal code. There is, we get due process. And it isn't just the United States citizens, it's anybody who's in this country. And so they're looking to go to these detention centers, and it's really they want to see the conditions. That's one thing. They want to talk to the people, but it's also a pushing back on this administration, saying we're not afraid of you. Okay, you can threaten to arrest us, and you can arrest us, but we're still going to go, show up and do our job. So what I want to do is I want to look at, are they going to be doing any of these visits? And then kind of what's going to happen when they do those visits. Are there going to be more arrests? Because, we know that this administration, they absolutely want any reason in the world to arrest anybody that opposes them. So that's kind of what I want to look at today, is just kind of that overall reading of the Democrats going to the detention centers and like what's going to happen from there with that. Okay. So as always, this is for entertainment purposes only, and just want to look at Democrats say that they're planning these detention center visits. I know Congresswoman Jayapal has said that she's doing it, so I would absolutely expect her to follow through with that. So yeah, some of them that are saying they're doing this are ones that you're like, oh yeah, you're totally doing that. So I'm curious about, just start with a base reading of this. Democrats visiting the detention centers. Are they going to do it, and what's going to come of that? Okay. For entertainment purposes only, the heart of this is the World card. They want to shine a light into what is going on, what in the world this administration is doing. They want to bring it into the national spotlight. They want to show the world what this administration is doing. Okay. So with that being that card right there, they will be making those visits. Okay. The challenge to those visits, the people rising up. And so this also kind of makes me wonder, the administration knows that when this is in the news, they get hammered, in the court of public opinion on this. And so they would probably really rather this not be in the news, but yet the Democrats are absolutely putting a spotlight on that. Okay. Options that the Democrats have. This is the wait and see. That kind of bothers me that card would come into the options here of, we're just going to wait and see. It can also mean looking at things in a different way. Not, as I said, you've got some establishment, Democrats there who have not got with the program, who cannot read the room and think that this is something that the Democrats need to not be fighting on. They think that they need to be focused somewhere else. Okay. Looking there at Gavin Newsom. So I just, that's disappointing. I will say that's disappointing. So let's see what the past experience is here. And the past experience is changes in emotions. When they bring this to the public spotlight, people get engaged because the people that are being deported and taken to these detention centers, these are students who have done nothing wrong. They use their freedom of speech. That's what they're accused of, is freedom of speech. They they're not arresting, hardened criminals. They're arresting, grandma and grandpa and, people that are working. People, they have even, green card holders. So yes, this is something that needs to be brought, to the attention. It needs to be something that people talk about. There definitely needs to be this light shown on this. And so for some of the Democrats to think that they should just, support a different cause, wait and see, whatever, that this is like, no, no. The recent influences are just major transformation. And I think they also saw, what the Trump administration is trying to intimidate the Democrats into not doing this. And I'm kind of wondering if some of those establishment Democrats are like, they're wanting to arrest us. Let's not give them the excuse. That's pretty weak. Sorry, that's a weak reasoning to that, because this isn't going to hold up in court. They have a legal right to go to these detention centers and to tour them. And so I don't know why, this establishment is saying, we need to not do this. Okay. It's almost like they're afraid of the bad optics for the Democratic Party. It's like there is no bad optics here for you guys. And then the potential is, this is another one of waiting to see. Let's just wait and see what happens. Wow. So if I'm looking at this, you've got some Democrats are like, we just want to wait and see what happens. We don't want to really do anything. You've got others that are like, oh, hell no. We're going to bring this to the attention of the world. We want to shine a light into the world. We want to tell everyone, message or nights, changes in emotions. We want to influence, people. This is something that people are very passionate about when it comes to due process, and that these people have not been given due process. And, I was asking from the point of view from, the Democrats, and you get this major transformation. And I really think that it's almost like between the old guard and the new guard. The old guard is, wanting to play by the old rule book and, read the room. Okay. That rule book does not exist anymore. There absolutely needs to be changes. And so let's see here. Will there, this is kind of like that base reading of the energy going on within the Democratic Party. Okay. They can't even, they can't agree on this group that wants to go visit these detention centers. They're going to go. This group is saying, well, I don't think we should just, we should just wait and see. There's other things that we could be putting our energy into. This isn't what we should be doing. Okay. So I want to know, honestly, I don't care about these Democrats. I don't care about these Democrats. If you're not willing to fight for something as, as simple as the foundation of our legal system, which is due process, there's where you go. You go away. So I want to know about these Democrats here, and they're visiting these detention centers. What's that look like? Okay. This is I usually get this with the Trump administration and the, foxes loose in the house, smash and grab. What all illegal stuff are they doing under the dark of night? I'm kind of wondering if they're also not giving them, the Democrats, the runaround and trying to schedule these visits, because that was, they have a legal right to tour this. And I know that what happened in Newark, they had already had the appointment. It was already set for them to go. So I'm wondering if they're having a hard time even getting those appointments. And the challenge is, I think they're being blocked. They may have to get like court orders in order to do this. Looking out into the future, looking at their options of how, this card is coming up in the options, position. And it's saying they're looking at their options of what they can do because they're being blocked. Okay. Past experiences, they're being blocked. Okay. The recent influences, they went anyway. They went anyway. And, there was and the potential, wow, the tower card. They're going to go. And I think there's going to be almost like another, they have a legal right to go, even though they're being blocked. They have the right to do this, to see these detention centers, to bring attention to it. And then when they go, the tower card. I'm thinking that this is going to, let's do more on the tower card. I think it's going to be just kind of a repeat of what happened there in Newark. Okay, so the tower card. What is that? And with the tower card, the message is, don't, they've been warned. But legally, they have the right to be there, and they're going to do it anyway. Okay. And the law is on their side. So, the Trump administration will use it as, a photo op. The Democrats are going to use it as the rallying cry to motivate the people. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with that. Not probably, where am I? Yeah, not a longer reading today. What I'm getting is that the Democrats that are committed to preserving our democracy know that this is important, and they're not going to be swayed by the likes of Gavin Newsom saying we need to focus on other things. They are going to go, and the tower card comes up. I mean, I can't sugarcoat the tower card. So expect more of that kind of circus from the Trump administration. The Trump administration is blocking their visits. They legally have the right to go. Would not surprise me if the courts don't get involved and, and say, no, they have a legal right to go. Or like if they're arrested, then when it goes to court, that the courts uphold their rights to be able to go to these detention centers. The Trump administration is going to use it for propaganda. They're going to use it as a photo op. I mean, that's what they've been doing. You got cosplay Barbie out there who, dresses up and, for her little photo ops, they all have to play, who's going to win this, Apprentice White House, edition, reality show. The one that doesn't go to jail. I guess that would be the winner. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, just expect more of the same with that, but that these Democrats are definitely bringing a light to that, shedding light on just the corrupt and just the ick of this administration. So with that being said, that's really all I'm getting today. I will continue to do follow-ups on this for sure, especially if, we do start seeing some of those. As I said, I looked and didn't see anything. Just all I saw in the news was that they were planning it. I haven't seen anything scheduled yet. So I will be watching that and see what happens. So thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I'll put a video up here for you to check out, especially if this is your first time checking out some of my videos. Check out some of my other videos and the subscribe button. So thank you very much, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.